Hello everybody, how you doing today? Superfiend here, and welcome back to Whacky World. We are going to continue where we have been working on that little children's ride in the Lost Civilization area of the park, just as soon as we get in here. And in between episodes, I did a little bit of playing around on how we might decorate the Lost Garden, the actual foliage gardens, the greenery, the trees, the bushes, the plants, whatever you want to call it, for that area of the park, right in here. This little spot, we want to dress this up. We want to get some greenery in here, make it look really pretty and lush and maybe even a little bit overgrown. And so we're going to work on that this episode. And before we do, let's just go jump in here and look at the research real quick, just to keep all these things moving along. We want to make sure that as we finish these things, we will have all the available game options, coasters, tracks, and rides, and all that stuff. And we're getting there. We're having a lot less options to chew through every month, or every time we complete the research, not every month. And let's see, let's just go ahead and max these out. Okay, that's good. Get the marketing campaign, make sure the staff is all still happy, good workloads. I believe we looked at the food and drink the food and drink shops not long ago, and all the staff are fully trained, so we can't really make them any better at what they do. And we got a bunch of rides here that aren't opened. I always panic when I look at this now because I'm like, 0, close. What the heck is going on? They're not open. And we got the shops over here. They're doing pretty good. Look at the entrance hats, $1,000 a month just from selling hats to people that are hungry. But that is because it doesn't stay. But if you look at the overall guest happiness, we can see it right here as well. It's pretty high. So when guest happiness is high, they will buy hats. Keep that in mind. And if you don't have a hat shop, they'll buy balloons and other stuff. So over to the foliage. That's the focus. So we want to dress this area up. We want to make it look a little bit overgrown. The idea is, again, that this is a lost civilization. This kiddie ride is built to interact in a small way with the scenery, and as they come through here, we want the guests to be like, wow, look at how overgrown and yet still cool this area looks. And so the way we're going to do that is we're going to start by adding some flowers and some vines and things onto these pillars, and then we'll come in and we'll dress the floor up. I think we'll probably, if this had been a real garden type of deal, then there probably would have been some maybe flat benches or stone benches for the viewers to sit on as they enjoyed the garden. So we'll probably try to build a few of those. I'd like to get a little bit more architectural elements kind of around the corners, fill in some of this empty space. You know, you look at these things, you think of it like empty space, and how can we make it interesting? And there's almost no such thing as too much, but you do need to kind of like back off at some point. So if you leave things too empty, that's obvious and it hurts. If you fill them up too much, it's a little bit more difficult to be critical of something that just has a lot going on. I think it's easier to be critical of things that have nothing in it. So anyways, this is what I did between episodes. I duplicated this right here, this particular column piece, a few times, and I just took some of the flower pots, or what are they actually called? They're called, okay, we got a log planter, trowel planter, barrel planter. So some of them are called planter, and some of them are called window box. So I took some of the window boxes and some of the planters, and then we also have the ivy here, the flat ivy vines, and we just kind of did things like this. And it was real simple. I'll just show you how I did it one time, and then we won't spend any more time on that. We'll just get to using what we made and decorating. But you come over and you take one and you would duplicate it, and they want to sit horizontally, so stand it up vertically and kind of move around the column a little bit. Okay, that looks really bad, but then you use the advanced movement, and we want to rotate it in, and we can still kind of see the wood box on the edge. It doesn't really matter if you could kind of see it, because in the in the sense of the ride, they're going to come through here a little bit too fast to notice, you know, that there's a little piece of wood sticking out the back. But you can make it as perfect as you want. Let's see here. Okay, that one needs to be fixed a little bit. Okay, that's good. And then we'll do this one. Okay, and then we might, you know, we might move this over just a little bit. We might move it out a little bit. A little bit of rotation on it kind of ends up looking good. Although you got to be careful if you rotate it too much, it pokes out the bottom. But again, for the ride, they'll be coming through too fast to really see it. If you're using it as general park scenery and you're going to take screenshots and videos as if you were a guest moving casually through the park, you'd probably want to conceal it a little bit better. In that case, I would consider turning the angle snap off as you rotate it, because then you could do it in much finer degrees of movement like that. Okay, so then we could come over here. We could do this one too, XX, to get to the rotation. And let's see, we don't want to do it that way anymore. Maybe just rotate it a little bit back this way. And maybe just a little bit this way. Push it in a little bit. And then maybe we want to, if we can get this one right here. There it is. Kind of join them up a little bit. And then let's see. So, yeah. You look at it up close and you can notice the imperfections and various things. Look at them from over here. They actually look really nice. So that's kind of what we're going to be doing. We did the same thing, or I did the same thing in between episodes off the air with the ivory or the ivy. And we did this one over here. I didn't rotate these ones and sink them in as much. I kind of left them out because I wanted to see what that would look like. And in this case, it's just a single fairy tale column in the middle instead of 3 of them with rotations to make a circular pillar. And from out back here, when you look at this, it pretty much looks just like one of these, but really overgrown. And you can't even really tell that it's doesn't have the 2 extra fairy tale columns in it. This one is I think these are new foliage options. I think these are new scenery pieces with the summer update. And basically with these ones, if you duplicate it and then stand it right on top and then just hit shift, you can sink it in pretty good, and they fit in here rather nicely. They wrap around a little bit, so it looks like some sort of tree viney thing is growing up the side, and then you just kind of rotate them a little bit. So they fit nicely. And then I went and I pulled out what I thought were trees and bushes that we might actually see inside of here. So we got the banana palm tree and the short palms. We got the beech trees, I think are going to work nicely in here, maybe sink them down a little bit. There were a few trees where I tried to stand them up on top of the pillar and then sink it down so it looked like it was kind of growing around it. But I didn't really like the way most of those look. I think that these, I don't know how you say this, creosote bushes, I think that these, used sparingly, might actually kind of look okay in there as well as part of the overgrowth. And I don't want to go overboard with the actual flowers, but out of all the flowers, I thought these ones look kind of the most natural. And I'd like to kind of put these little lily pad things in the fountains. And then as far as more color goes, I do think the red floral bush and the red leafy bush, I think those both look very natural, as if they would grow on their own and kind of take the shape, not as if they were being tended to regularly by a gardener. So I think that they fit well in there. The forest bush and the big green bushes, I don't use these very often. I usually find that they're kind of big, but we might put some of those in there and try to do some various things with them. Oh, and then these two work very well together. The beech bush and the scaevola, I'm not sure. These work really well. And one of the things that I found that works with these two is, let's just say we went and put this one up here. Okay, and then you notice it's got all these roots and things hanging off it. Then I usually kind of like to take these ones and kind of put it where those roots are and then just move it out a little bit. And it's not going to look so great on this particular scenery piece, but I've done this in other areas of other parks, and overall the effect is pretty convincing. It works well when you set this one on some rocks or some hard terrain, and then you got these little roots kind of spanning the gaps, and then you just put one of these where the root is, and it looks like, oh yeah, it's just part of the same thing, because the leaves look very similar. I want to say they're identical, but there could be a subtle difference that I'm just not picking up on. Okay, so having said all that took quite a few minutes. Let's actually get some work done. So what we want to do is we're going to go ahead, we're going to duplicate one of these. Now let's see. That is number creeper 1, creeper 1. Let's see if we can get this one over here. And are they all creeper 1? No, I got that one again. Oh, for Pete's sake. We'll do it this way. There are 2 creepers. Okay, so let's get that creeper, and they are rather small once we put them in here. And we'll go ahead. I kind of want to, again, I want to do this in as few scenery pieces as possible. So I'm going to shy away from using the small window box or planner boxes. I want to use the larger ones. And even then, I mean, look at this. If we want this to go all the way up this pillar, it's going to take like, I don't know, 12 of them. And then if we want to do it on more than one side. So we're better off using the biggest ones that we have at our disposal. And this one's pretty big. And so is this one. So we'll just lay those in there like that. Are those 2 identical? No, they're different. Okay. And then, let's see, the ivy. We want to get some of the ivy. Probably want to get all the ivies. And we'll use these bigger ones to kind of go up the walls. I'm not sure where exactly we'll use this one. This is the one that works well on the columns. And this one I think usually works well on the ground going up or on the ceiling going down, but rotated 180 degrees. Typically how I like to use that one. Okay, so let's see if we can get this here. We'll duplicate it. And let's see. Okay, so we don't want to have a big leafy thing sticking out down here where the track is, but up top it might work okay. Let's kind of get this out of the way. If we close it, yeah, if we close that, it takes us out of the building mode. It'd be nice if we could just hide this and not have to see it, but still be editing the building. I wish we could kind of do that and get just even this little bit of space back would be nice. All right. So we're just going to set it here, and we're going to sink it way down. Probably going to have to raise it up. Okay, so now we'll just rotate it 180. So I'll do another rotation. There we go. And now if we select, oh boy, let's see. Kind of tricky to get the ones that we want in here. Come on. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. Yeah, okay, that's not going to help me though. All right. Undo, 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 undo. Okay, let's just try again. This time we'll use X so that we can actually just get way down here and look at it as we do it. Okay, maybe stick it out a little bit. And yeah, okay, that's good. Go ahead and accept that. And let's see. The dot is not in the center because I moved it. So let's go ahead. Let's grab this one. Okay, you know what? I'm going to put you right there. It's going to be a little bit easier to grab them if they're over there. All right, let's have this one kind of more, I guess right here is pretty good. Alright, so that's in the track, in the track. That's pretty good. Let's get our angle snap back on. Oops. Meant to hit. Okay. Meant to hold down Z. Okay, there we go. So see, that actually looks rather nice. And let's see. This pillar right here just overall could be too close. Let's see as they come around the corner here. Might need to move it. Yeah, that's way too close. Their heads just got chopped off. We'll worry about that. We'll fix it. Not a problem. Okay, so let's do this one. And let's just see. Let's just put some of these here. And again, let's do it a little bit quickly. Okay. And go ahead and put that there. And we kind of need I think we kind of need one right here where that space is created now. Okay. And let's see. So we're just going to place these a little bit willy-nilly. And I think maybe... I think that one will be okay. I think that one's okay. And let's see, maybe we'll put one kind of at the top of this, but not colliding with the track. Let's see that one. Oh, now that we got that, okay. Let's put the lower one first, because when we had the other one poking out the top, it was making it hard to get it to stand straight up and down. Okay, let's go ahead, and I think we've been using this one. Let's switch over to this one a little bit, get some variety. And I think let's see. I think right here, kind of as they come in. Okay. And don't really like that. Yeah, I think that could work. And let's see how. All right, I guess we got this to fix too. We'll go ahead. We'll put one of these kind of way on the bottom, underneath the track. There we go, and right here also. Now, I just realized that you can hold shift and the, well, I have the spacebar bound to rotation. So when I hold down the spacebar, I can move the mouse and rotate the camera. So I can do shift and spacebar together and then keep shift the whole time. So I can get a better camera view, and then I just let go of the spacebar. And then I can keep my finger on the shift and still adjust the height of things. So that's kind of how I'm rotating the camera. But still keeping the green arrow visible for moving things up and down on the vertical axes. Okay, let's get this one. Let's go ahead and put some here. Actually, let's kind of get this one kind of in between the two. Okay. And if we back out of this building, we can see it's up to 636 objects. So it could be very easy to overdo this very quickly. And let's see, we want to do something about this pillar. We have to do something about this pillar. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to edit building. I'm going to select all this stuff. Deselect the floors. Okay. And yeah, now this is kind of like in a weird place, like compared to the rest of them, but you know what? I don't care. And we're going to fix this one over here because this is a big issue. Deselect the floor. Now, one thing we could do, let's see. Actually, I'm going to back that idea up. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to grab these two. Deselect the floor and do a Control X to duplicate move them. And I want the red arrow. There we go. And now, let's see if I can just right click, right click, right click. There. Now it just looks like they fell down. So that fixes that. And let's see, what do we got going on? Okay, I think that's all right. Now with the ivy, we'll grab some of the ivy. Let's go ahead and do a few of these. And these ones are a little bit easier. I'm going to, it's an easy way to do this. Actually, I'm gonna do it like this. This I think will be easier. We're gonna take all of this and we're gonna duplicate it, set it here. I'm gonna remove the floor. I'm going to duplicate the ivy. And I'm just going to encircle this, just with a couple of them. 3 of them I think is enough. Now, I don't want anything selected. There. Now I've got just 3 ivies. Okay. And if I duplicate them, let's see. And now I can just kind of do this, duplicate. Is that the right ivy to use? Yeah, that's the best one. Okay. And we want to make sure that the ivy is visible kind of more on the side where they're going to be able to see it from the coaster. So like if we sink it back here, the ivy is sinking into here. We want it actually in front of that. If it's going to sink into the post, we want it to sink into the back, if anywhere. Okay. And let's go ahead and let's do this one. I got to be careful. You got to be careful it doesn't interfere with the track in any way. Whoops. Okay. So we're just repeatedly duplicating it. Okay, let's see. This one doesn't quite want to go where we want it to, so let's use the advanced move and see if we can't get it like this. And then now we'll lower it. Okay. Oh boy, and now it's really in a weird position. So let's go ahead and cancel that. Let's go back over here. Do we still have the 3? We do. Let's duplicate. Okay, these 3 behave okay. So let's do these 3. Okay. And let's see. Actually, now that we've... Oh, look at that. This one right there. Kind of move it over. And then we can fidget with these if they look really bad. And again, it doesn't really have to be perfect. Okay, this one could, I think, be moved a little bit this way. this one here, maybe move it this way and bring it out just a little bit. Okay, and what do we got going on over here at this one? How these ones all come out. And kind of take this one out, and if we rotate it this way, and then now we can see it better. And there's this one here around the edge. Okay. And this one, I think we'll just take that one off. Okay, so that's already, I think, looking a lot better. And it's just kind of haphazard. There's no real organization, rhyme or reason to it. And now that we've actually got a couple of these done, kind of thinking one easy way would be to just like bump this column out and go duplicate this column and move it over there. Or, you know, we could just do this. Let's see, let's come down here. Ivy. That wants to rotate that way, huh? Okay. Let's see, and shift moves it out. No, it's the mouse cursor is picking up that other piece of ivy. So let's see, Control X, because I want it to face us mostly. Then we can, which arrow? The blue arrow is going to move it up. Can bring it this way, pull it out, rotate it a little bit like that. Blue arrow is up. Rotate it back this way. You know, so this is another way to do it instead of trying to duplicate and move the 3 at a time. Another way to get it done. And camera got screwed up. Okay, let's see if we can grab that, duplicate. And let's see. Let's get some done over here. And we'll drop it down, move it over. Okay. Same stuff. These ones are actually hanging a little bit too far off, so not hard to fix. Just a little bit time consuming to get this done. And let's see. And let's go ahead and move this one in. And then if we select these 3 and do a Control X, and let's see, when we rotate them, which way are they going to kind of poke out that way? Okay. And if we do those 3 again, and let's see, where do we want to go with them? Let's bring them over here. And luckily they're kind of already pointed that way. And let's see. And then we'll probably want to refine this one a little bit. And we'll probably want to duplicate it onto the other side. Lift it up a little bit. Move it down, move it over, move it this way. A little bit of a rotation. Okay. And again, none of this is perfect. They don't line up to everything exactly correct. And I think the episode's getting pretty long. So what we're going to do is we're going to exit the building mode. And let's just look at what it looks like now. We want the other car or the other train as we come through here. And we'll speed it up. Alright. So this little bit of scenery is going to make the ride a little bit more dynamic, a little bit more exciting. Okay, and as they come in here, get this nice view of everything. Might still need to move a couple of the pillars and whatnot. Here we go. And coming out of the station, we'll, I don't know, maybe do some stuff over here. Who knows? do a little bit more in that area. And that's pretty much how it's going to go. So what we're going to do is I've kind of showed you enough of how to put the plants on the pillars. I don't think we need to see all of that being done. So what we're going to do, we're going to come back in the next episode. I'm going to pick up, but with the bushes. I'm going to start putting some bushes on the ground, laying things around, and maybe add a couple more architectural elements in here, like the benches I talked about. And then I'll probably finish adding the rest of the foliage and any other architectural elements that I'm going to be repeating. I'll probably finish those off camera because we don't really need to see every single advanced movement, rotation, and every single placement of scenery. So thank you for watching. Come back for the next one, and let's just keep this going. Have a great afternoon.